I think he got jealous. So anyway, congratulations on surviving this wacko nutto game.
Thank you, I appreciate it. It was definitely a journey.
I could swear you voted for Memphis at the end. What happened?
As everybody has said, they all were surprised that I did not vote for Memphis, but it was actually a really, really difficult decision for me. I felt that, a lot of people already had in mind who they were voting. It was a toss-up for me. Literally, I could have flipped the coin at the end, and that's how it would have went, but I just waited on multiple scenarios. And
so you kept saying that, but you'd say, Dan doesn't deserve my vote. Memphis is a really nice guy. And I thought, she's voting for Memphis.
But the thing is that at the round table, I think a lot of people bashed Memphis, and I didn't think that was fair to Memphis. So I found it fair to actually say, you know what, he played a very great game as well. Not just Dan, and I think a lot of people were saying how great of a game Dan played. Yeah. But obviously Memphis is sitting right next to him, so you have to give him some credit as well. They just played it two completely different ways. Memphis played it more as a business strategy. Dan took it more on a personal note. So, for me, again, I definitely respect the way Memphis played the game. He stayed true to himself all the way from the beginning to end with me. He never was fake with me whatsoever, and I appreciate that part of him. With Dan, the only reason I mainly decided from the voting factor to go to Dan was because Dan wanted to get to know me on a personal level. Especially in the first 3-4 weeks of the game, him and I had a lot of conversations. He seemed very interested in my family, my friends.
But in hindsight, maybe was that a game play?
Oh, it definitely could have been part of his game, and obviously it worked, so it definitely could have been part of his game. But hey, we are human. We like that, obviously some sort of intimate conversation, and I appreciated that from Dan, so it worked.
What I think we loved about you most is the honesty factor. Like when you said the stuff about like Jerry, if there's a picking nose competition, he's going to do great. Like, wow, this girl's funny. She's not just, you know what I mean?
Right.
Where does that come from?
You know what? I hope people didn't, again, I might be portrayed as the bitch on this show this season.
You kind of were.
Oh, dang it. And I completely apologize because, but I think the thing is when you're in the heat of the moment, the thing is I might just be a little bit more, outspoken about the way I feel than some of the people in the house. And I'm not going to change my ways. That's just the way I am. And my family already appreciates me just the way I am. But I am very, very caring. And I hope they got that part of me as well. I have a very big heart. I cared for everybody in the house. I was very giving. I was very, trying, if someone needed me to listen, I would listen. So, again, I hope they portrayed that part of me as well, not just that I was a bitch.
No, and then your sister and your relationship with her and her baby and stuff. No, but the stuff that we will love and always remember is the nose-picking comment and Keisha, why is she jealous of me? Well, come on, I'm prettier. Well, they played that 10 times.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. And again,
we had polls. Who's prettier, Keisha or April? I mean, you gave us great stuff for debates.
Great. That's great. You know what? Again, I think Keisha's a beautiful woman. All the women in this house are absolutely beautiful. And again, that was probably misspoken. I apologize to Keisha 10 times over about anything I ever said negative about her. But again, when you're in the heat of the game and your emotions you're going, your adrenaline's going, people are stabbing you in the back, they're telling lies, they're turning the house against you and such. Again, you're going to say things that obviously you might regret, and I think people say it a lot of times that they're just normally not on camera. We're all human, so we're all going to say things that we regret, and I definitely regret probably ever saying that.
You may owe her a phone call after this is all over.
Dang it, I probably will owe her a phone call after all this is over.
And the grabbing boob thing too was so hysterical that kind of said who you were from the day one.
Right. Like I said, I'm out there a little bit. My family knows that about me already. So, hey, again, I'm always portrayed as being fake, whether it's fake hair, fake boobs, whatever that might be. And I was like, hey, I'm just letting it out there, you guys, that, everything about me is real. You see what you get. That's just the way I work. So.
I don't want to embarrass Ali, but he said, and I'm quoting, kind of paraphrasing because I don't know the exact quote, she's better than $500,000. And he kind of elaborated more on that, but I just wanted the gist is he would not have cared to win the 500 if it meant he wouldn't be your friend. And I thought, wow, what a nice thing to say. And I said, did you expect me to say that to her? He goes, no, I really feel that way.
You know what? He is one of the most amazing people I've ever met in my entire life. He made this game really easy for me because I would do it again in a heartbeat, every single minute, all the drama, everything, just to meet him and be with him. So, like I said, I think we both make that comment as well. I think I took home the biggest prize.
Let me ask you though, would you have given up $500,000 for him?
That's a difficult decision. I'm not sure. I probably would.
Good answer. Probably doesn't cut it.
I would.